Wood charge gamers.
Now you, what are you working with there, Chris?
Let's see, I've got 2 large squads of Termagants. They have 18 that are just flesh force, so 12-inch guns, and 8 in each of those squads has the 18-inch 3-shot guns.
Okay.
There's a Turbogon, that's the only monstrous creature I have. It's, you know, the spawn beast. He's not bad in close combat, but I mean, he's only hitting on 5s with 3 attacks.
Oh, he's dead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see him doing terribly much aggressively, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I've got 2 Biovores, so, you know, just ranged, basically mortal wounds. I've got 2 Patriarchs and 2 Broodlords. They're basically the same, they just have access to different psychic powers. The Malanthrope, which is the hit negative modifier buff character. I have, I think it's either 22 or 26 Hormagaunts with adrenal glands. I'll have to double check the exact number.
I guess what I'm most scared of is what's gonna be able to alpha strike me.
There is not a whole lot of alpha strike. I do have the option. I have a Supreme Command Detachment with 3 Gene Stealer characters.
Okay.
Besides that, I have to do a lot of foot slogging. Okay. It's pretty quick though. I mean, I do have 40 Gene Stealers on top of.
Can those are those the Gene Stealer cult version or?
No, those are the standard kind. They are. They have to come up the board.
I see. Okay, well that helps me make my decisions then. All right, looks good. So we got all of our objectives down. After we deploy, they'll be randomly determined to their value.
No problem.
They're gonna be worth 3, 2, and 1, and that's either what their value is at the end of the game, or if you're scoring turn by turn, you need 3, 5, and 7. Yeah, 3, 5, and 7 points to get 1, 2, and 3 points per turn. This time we got to choose our secondaries and our primaries secretly and announce them.
I'm gonna need a little bit about your list.
Okay, sure. So you just basically got your 6 predators.
Okay.
You have the 2 Warpsmiths that can heal those predators.
Okay.
1 per tank there. You got Tallyman there to try to, on a 7 on 2d6, regain any Death Guard stratagem command points spent. And then there's 2 Demon Princes. They're going to be ready to fight. They got the disgustingly resilient. One of them has a 2+ armor save based on the new Death Guard relic. There is the potential of Nurgle's Rot, 3 command points once per game, and everything within 7 inches on a 4+. Takes more wounds, so it could do a little explosion out there. But it's pretty much just a firing base and a big screen. 15 bases of Nurgling.
15 bases of Nurgling.
Yeah,
okay.
So it's 3 units of 5.
3 5s. Okay.
Yeah, so they can basically infiltrate deploy.
And those are troops.
They are troops, but they are not object secured.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 2 battalions and a spearhead, giving me 10 command points.
Are they the only troops you have in your army?
That is, yep, 5 units of troops. Yep.
Okay. All right, I may need to look at the list of secondaries real quick.
Yeah, let's pull the secondaries here and make some of these.
I think I know what I want. Yeah,
me too. I'm gonna do Moment of Bloodshed, Big Game Hunter, and yeah, I'm gonna do First Strike.
Shoot the big ones, Line Breaker, and I'm gonna mark for death.
Okay, what do you mark for death?
I'm gonna mark for death 1 unit of Nurglings.
1 unit of Nurglings. Cool. Alrighty. So I think we got our plans, and then it's about turn by turn or in game. I'm going to be choosing turn by turn.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I mean, the objectives are pretty central.
Deploying?
I'm done deploying, man.
So you deployed immediately after me, so I just have basically +1 to you.
No run?
On the roll here.
But don't you have like 3 super heavies?
No, not this time. So here is a roll for choosing turn. I got a 2 + 1 is a 3.
I got a 2.
Ah, magic. All right, looks like I will have the option of turn. I will take that option and go first.
And we don't start scoring objectives till 2.
Correct. Did you wish to seize the initiative, or at least attempt to?
Yeah, I'll give it a crack.
All right.
I also have 10 command points. I'm gonna mark that over here.
Same. Right up top here.
I guess I'll mark this as a turn.
Yeah, glorious super dice, excellent. So basically, I just moved up. I need to get in range. I was trying to go for a broke and get a turn 1 a double score on my Nova secondary objectives. I was trying to get the big game hunter in first strike. Always a little nervous about taking first strike because of the kind of the counter move that your opponent can do. It didn't work out in this case, didn't get the good shots. Also kind of poorly deployed, or move I should say. I didn't maximize my kill shot stratagem to get the most of these predators within 6 inches of 2 others to get the extra damage and the extra +1 to wound there. So only got a few of the kill shot stratagems to activate. They were deadly when they got in there. Got some nice, like, real tiny gaps in there that I was able to point at him because he's a big fatty guy.
Damn right.
The rest I just had to pour into gaunts because I had no other choice of targets. I tried to charge into the Malanthrope there and thinking I was gonna hold him down. Didn't really realize he was fly. You know, always good to ask questions to your opponent. I'll take the blame.
Whoopsies.
But you know, it's Nurglings. It's not like I care if they live or die too much. They're doing what they do, being a pain. That's pretty much it. I just took a bunch of shots, took out just a few gaunts. I actually rolled pretty poorly, spread myself out. I'm gonna need to be thinking about that stratagem and positioning myself to be able to maximize the kill shots.
What number are you on for objectives right now? I'm just curious.
I am on all 3 of my objectives.
Which is 6 points?
6 points. So
plus the 1, so you have to stay on all of these.
5 to get 2.
To get 5 to get 2?
5 to get 2,
so
which
7 is 3?
7 is 3.
Okay.
Yeah, 3, 5, and 7 to get at the beginning of at the beginning of each turn is when you actually score.
Yeah.
Tertiaries will begin to be scored next turn as well. We're both going turn by turn. And
I forgot tertiaries are even a thing.
Herrera has the mark for death of some Nurglings that are hiding back in this farthest corner. I did get off both my psychic powers on my Demon Prince Nurgle there. He is actually the Warlord wearing the armor. He's got -1 to hit right now, as well as +1 strength, +1 toughness. And yeah, so he's going for, you got mark for death. What else are you rocking?
Marked for death, I have to kill, what is it, 5 models over 100?
Yep,
and
kill the big ones.
Then
the big ones.
I had Line Breaker.
Ah, okay, going all the way back. All right.
Only got one way to go.
I think we're ready to begin for the Tyranid turn 2.
All right, so since George forgot that or didn't realize that the Malanthrope had fly, the first thing that was kind of turn by turn is I had the Malanthrope pull back. He moved his full 5, just kind of reposition. I had intended to charge the Nurglings that were left in the center of the board, approximately here. But I got a little overzealous in my shooting and killed them, which is unfortunate because that could have been an opportunity with the Malanthrope to give my entire army a permanent reroll 1s to hit buff, even though a lot of stuff in my army currently has that in terms of auras and other general stuff. So that isn't necessarily an early game loss, but it may be a factor later in the game where I may have hurt my chances of doing damage. Besides that, I had some meaningful assaults. I took off some mortal wounds here and there. Some gaunt shot at a tank. I think I caused 2 or 3 wounds to one of the tanks. The Biovore shot up this squad in the back. I think I caused 1 mortal wound here.
Yeah, you did the wounds, but I saved the wounds on the
That's
tanks.
right,
Yeah.
that's right.
I was like, God, I didn't mark those, yeah.
That's right. So I killed these Nurglings, the Gene Stealers charged these Nurglings, and they're gone. Charged here, surprisingly did not kill the Nurglings here. Also had a Primus and Patriarch come in from Cult Ambush. Little worried there. We'll see what happens. I mean, there's 2 Demon Princes there, but at the same time I also have a lot of forward force. Gene Stealers are fast. If I need a counter, I have all of the strength right there to do it. Ending my turn on 4 objectives.
Yep.
And yeah, managed to tear George off of a 3rd one, so or a 4th one as well, so he will only be scoring...
Yeah, I still got my main 5 in the back zones, which is the good thing.
2 points.
Yep, so 2 points at the beginning of the turn there.
And that is basically my turn. My guys are fairly central. I pulled the Turbogon back a hair, but Synapse coverage is strong. Nice. The Hive Mind is unrelenting.
Yes. Okay, I think we got a nice healthy game going here. Get the tune. All right, I'll give a quick rundown of what just went down for the capturing. Okay, so I backed up. Once I realized that his Gene Stealers can move 8, plus he could cast a power that could advance and charge. He could
Well, the Gene Stealers can just advance and charge, period. The Gaunts can be cast a power on.
Yeah, after checking out those Gaunts, or not the Gaunts, but the Gene Stealers, I had to back up. He moved the Turbigon back far.
Holy shit, someone got the name right on
He backed that Turbigon up so that I would have to move forward to get in range with my lascannons. It was not worth it to me to lose my tanks at about 180 pop. So I decided to back up and continue to just kind of soak up the primary objectives. I'm able to get 2 per turn. I want to keep banking on that and keep my firepower as healthy as I can. So I decided to throw all my shots into the Gene Stealers that are closest to my Demon Princes. I decided to forward move with those. So jumped into this horde of Gaunts here, and just tried to wipe out a few. I got 5 dead. The Nurglings still survived that round of combat and took another wound off the Patriarch.
Primus.
Yeah, Patriarch's the big dude. Patriarch, I killed my other Demon.
That is your tertiary? Oh, actually, the Brute. You killed a Biovore too with your tanks, which is.
If I would have got 3, I would have got my Moment of Bloodshed, but unfortunately, I was only able to get 2 units. Correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
There was I spread my shots between his Feel No Pain models and his. They had Feel No Pain due to psychic power. Catalyst.
Yes.
Yep. And then another unit did not. I kind of spread my shots between them. I put the multi-damage into the Feel No Pain and the non-multi-damage shots into the other unit without the Feel No Pain. So all in all, I'm not dissatisfied with the turn. It was fun to kill the Patriarch for sure. Getting Moment of Bloodshed definitely would have been nice. Finally popping that Biovore was, it felt good. I thought it should have happened off the first round of shooting. Actually took a couple more tanks. Probably could have got a few more Gene Stealers down had he died on the first round like I hoped he would. But moving with heavy weapons, that -1 to hit can really affect your shooting there. Tanks are still full health. My Mark for Death Nurgling unit is still nice and safe back here, just like my big game hunter target is still back in his corner over there. The Nurglings are down to, there's 4 up in the forefront and 3 in the back here so that is 7 out of 15, about halfway through all the Nurgle bodies there. Tallyman has still not successfully rolled a 7 and regained me any stratagem points. Unfortunately, I'm down to 3 now, and Chris is down to 8, so he definitely has a 1 up on the command point tally there. All right, so into turn 2, Tyranids. Here we go.
Turn 2 did a little bit of moving. Moved the Turbigon a little bit more confidently since you pulled back. Missing the hit buff off the Mounter off turn 1. Not a huge deciding factor at this point. Doing a little bit of wrapping around over here, kind of just keeping threat forwards, plus I have Line Breaker to score. I don't think those units will be the ones to do it, but quite frankly, I have some fast enough units that if I pull out of this area very quickly, I could still make it by 5. Not easily, but it can be done. Psychic phase was underwhelming. I failed, I think, 2 powers when I only cast like 4. Or you canceled at least 1. I don't know if I'm counting that within that context. I didn't get off any of my negative hit modifier powers, which I was really hoping for, especially Mass Hypnosis, because I could have forced that Demon Prince that was the Warlord to fight last no matter what.
That's the one I canceled.
Yeah.
I don't think you got a full kill, right? No tertiary?
No tertiary this turn. I could have gone for the Nurglings, but honestly, the Demon Prince output damage is far too high for me to ignore. And Tyrion characters. But I digress. Gene Stealers largely whiffed, I'm not gonna lie. I rolled hitting on 2s on multiple waves of swing with 20. I think I rolled like a total of like 9 1s with 1 squad, which is pretty high overall, but I mean that's dice rolls. Besides that, caused a few wounds on the Warlord. Did I even cause any wounds on the Warlord?
Yeah, you caused 2.
Yeah, I caused 2 to the Warlord. I caused a few here. I think 2 here as well.
Yeah, 4 there. He's
4 there.
4, yeah.
Okay. And yeah, I mean I softened up some targets that are important, but they have flies, so they can't necessarily reassault, but they can pull out.
Yeah, with the natural saves that are on those Demon Princes, plus your rougher rolling there, plus getting to kill that Patriarch before fighting. That was by overrun combat.
Well, and the first Patriarch, the one that I gave priority, hitting on 2s, I only had 2 hits, which really hurt. I'll be honest, because that's the kind of character that even going up against a knight could cause a potential of 3 times 6. I could cause on a max roll 18 wounds. To cause a total of like 3 is underwhelming. But
so that whether they die next turn is honestly undetermined. They got quite a bit of
absolutely. I still have my warlord. I still have a hit modifier. I mean, if you fall back, the thing is you're not going to be able to re-assault targets that are characters. With those units, you have some Nurglings here. It was a bad turn for me, I feel, but at the same time, I don't think you're going to be able to wipe this side in your next turn, and that's where I recover.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, because it's actually, we end turn 2 on a tie.
Yep.
And then at the beginning of my turn 3, just like you have not had that moment yet, that's when I'll be able to leap ahead with another 2 points.
Okay.
For holding the backfield there.
I don't know if it was 7 or 6 down to 5. Mm-hmm. I did use the reroll.
Okay. Basically whiffed up when it came to killing the Tervigon, but I definitely did well at murdering the threat of the Gene Stealers.
Killed a 10-man unit of Gene Stealers.
Yeah.
It was a full strength squad as far as its starting potential.
And they were definitely the more threatening unit over here as far as my tank's survivability.
That's what you think.
Felt closed in. Apparently these guns got something hidden up the sleeve. They just don't look very intimidating, but maybe they pack more punch than I'm expecting. They don't. Yeah, no secret there. I think I got the right unit that time. I did fall back over here. I decided to leave the combat with the lesser Demon Prince, the non-warlord one, and just kind of hold the line, the gap in between my tanks over here, sit on that objective, make them go that direction, while also moving my Nurgling further in his deployment zone towards the back edge, just kind of splitting the problems. Now he has a kind of a triangle here of issues where he either goes this way, that way, that way. And there's a wall in between him going this route to my main gun line here. So as we, unlike a standard, rulebook mission, we're doing turn-by-turn scoring here. So just by sitting in the back, I can actually score, where usually in a crusade-like mission with the objective spread afar, if I was going in-game, I would have a real hard time getting out of this corner.
Absolutely.
Into the middle there with so much board control that the Tyranids have right now. So just kind of trying to keep the line back by shooting them back. Psychic did not go well for me that turn. I actually failed all my psychic powers. One was denied, one was failed.
That's one thing I used command point on, was the deny power.
Yeah. Still got plenty of holding the back line going on over here with some bodies. There's still a good number. I'm seeing at least close to 15 Gene Stealers floating around down there. Broodlord's ready to get engaged. The Warlord only took 2 wounds out of that little small horde of combat there. He's standing strong. He did get one of the mortal wounds to fling back from his relic, the Death Guard relic, which is cool. So yeah, the Death Guard element is definitely fun to play with these models. This is a combination of models that normally, out of all the Chaos list I've made, I haven't brought 6 Predators and a couple Demon Princes, and it's been pretty darn fun. The Nurglings are just great units in the game with their infiltrate capability, their 4 wounds a pop, their 4 attacks. Rerolling 1s, invulns, feel no pains, they're gross little models for cheap.
Oh yeah.
So they've been doing a good job in this game and in the previous game that I played with them. So cool, that looks like Death Guard turn 3, moving on to the bottom of turn 3 with the Tyranids. Yeah, you want to go ahead and give us a breakdown of what went down there?
Awfulness. But yeah, sure. Mainly was continuing to try to chop up this block of combat. For what it is, once again, massively bad rolls, hitting on 2s on charges, rolling 4 1s for the second turn in a row.
It's rolling on camera, dude. It's the mojo.
But, that's what it is. His Demon Prince went largely unscathed. He saved almost everything. On top of the fact that he did very little damage. There was a little bit of shooting. I did some damage to a tank. But once again, I have to deal with this block. Otherwise, there's nothing else to move forward from. But it having already taken me nearly 3 turns, it's at this point everything is a gamble for the Tyranids. It's not over, but at the same time, like if something doesn't get cleared up something amazingly fast with the like 2 wounds of pop Demon Princes, the game is very much over.
They definitely survived more than you would think they would.
Oh well, I mean the point offset is nearly 2 to 1.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but I mean, once again, that's not entirely just based off raw numbers. Placement was what I expected. I knew the Demon Princes were going to sweep a flank even before the deployment, but at this point, they're just shrugging off everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, I have to kill them. I stand a very real chance of this upcoming turn of losing my Warlord and best chance of dealing with the Demon Princes, just because every time I've swung in and charged, the opportunities when it's gone most wrong for me is on the charge I've rolled the worst, which is when I need to roll the best.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Demon Princes are going to die by the end of the game. There's no question of that in my mind. Not even a half chance, quite frankly. I mean, not much more happened. I killed, like a Nurgling base. But the big point of that, and honestly, in my opinion, which is what I intended, is to get the Turvagon to move from this side of the battlefield to this side of the battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm over here. If the Demon Princes fall out of combat, I have a chance to charge in and do, like a D6 damage wound source, which could wipe them on a charge, especially now that you don't have command points to interrupt. So it was that to me was more about positioning than anything.
Yeah, I mean the cool thing about being locked in a sense, yeah, I can jump out of it, but I can't charge a target that I really want. So you're making me fight what.
Exactly. I'm making you, like, if you choose to fall back, you have to fall back towards your table edge or risk just being gimped.
Yeah, Line Breaker's not, it's really, it's closing in. It's going to move into turn 4 here. I still need to get a Moment of Bloodshed, and I need to get Big Game Hunter. So really, that's my only give-a-hoots. And then keeping you out of Line Breaker would be a great move for me as well. Into Death Guard turn 4. I had to move 3 of my 6 Predators to get in line of sight of getting to shoot the Turvagon and making sure that I could kill the Gaunt Squad. My main objective of that turn was to kill 3 units for the Moment of Bloodshed secondary and to get the Turvagon for the...
You got all your secondaries.
Yeah, I scored all but first strike because that one I did not achieve. So no matter what, I'm not going to be able to get 2 points there. I did get tertiary for all 2, 3, and 4, those 3 turns there, so looking good there. I'm going to be sitting on 6 primaries going into turn 5, which looks like now there's nothing to be able to get to my deployment zone to stop me from getting my final.
My forward game is completely obliterated as per that turn.
Yep. Now, on your last turn, we didn't count your objectives that you scored last turn.
I had 2 that scored that, I thought. Because I was still on that up until literally.
Oh, because your turn 4 is about to happen. Yeah. And then what are you going to start your turn 4 with?
2, 3, 4? 4? Only 4.
That one's worth 3, right? That one's worth 2.
1, 2, and 1, I thought.
This one's worth 1.
Isn't that your 1?
That one's worth 2, so there's 3.
So 4?
That one's worth 6. No,
that's not an objective.
Oh, that's just a dice.
That was a wound marker for you.
That's just a dice.
Yep.
So, okay, so you get 2 points. Wait, you only have 4?
Yeah, so I only get 1.
Then you equal 5. Dang. Okay. So yeah, the Death Guard have been able to really shoot their way ahead here. The combat and the Demon Princes are the MVPs, but just soaking up all the attention and firepower of the niggas up there. Relic.
I'm gonna eat the shit out of those Demon Princes.
Yeah,
I already know. This is just a statistical anomaly.
Yes. There's much death and destruction. I failed my psyche powers again.
All right, end of Tyranid 4. Did not go awfully, did not go well. It was a nominal turn. The Demon Princes are gone. It took a lot of firepower. We lost some numbers here and there. Managed to also charge back into his front lines, which will, well, quite frankly, I don't expect it necessarily to yield me any very much forward ground. It will prevent him from being able to shoot with 2 tanks, because even if they fall back, those 2 tanks will not be able to shoot. Everything I had would have been in line of sight otherwise, except maybe 1 Gene Stealer. So that was more of a survival tactic, I think, on my part. But we'll see. Demon Prince is down. I am not close to scoring. I need to kill 5 things over 100 points, as well as mark for death. All of that stuff is still confidently where I'm just now making ground. On objectives,
So far.
I have enough to score points till the end of the game, quite frankly. I'm not worried about getting shorted of points. If I really need to make a push, I think I can score the full 9, depending on how casualties go. But the secondaries are definitely where I'm bleeding out, as well as tertiaries and lagging behind. So that's really where it needs to kind of move towards if I stand any chance of even pulling off a tie, quite frankly.
Yeah, sounds agreeable.
But we'll see. And time for George's turn 5, the last push to knock Gene Stealers and Tyranids off the board. I don't think I'm getting tabled this game, but I don't think I'm winning it. But no guts, no glory.
Alright, so that is the end of turn 5 for the Death Guard. It was very quick. It probably went less than 5 minutes. I basically just tried to shoot what was right in front of me. I had to fall back. My shooting was cut in half. He actually consolidated after his combat, or his pile in one of the 2, to one of my other predators there, eliminating another tank from shooting. So it was an offensive defensive move. He removed 3 predators from the shooting phase by his attack and his consolidate, which shortened my turn, shortened my killing output. I was able to kill about half of the Gaunts there and a couple of Gene Stealers, lowering their numbers, make them less threatening. I focused my fire a little differently once we realized that he actually is only on a total of 3 points worth of scouring objectives. So 3, 5, and 7 is how you score 1, 2, and 3 points when it's turn by turn. So he's going to be up to 7 at the beginning of his turn, putting me at 8 to 7 if the game ends on turn 5 when it comes to primaries. So I did not get a tertiary that round. There was nothing killed.
Nope.
Correct. So last turn, no tertiary.
I think ties us on tertiaries, or at least puts us 1 point apart on tertiaries.
What'd you kill? Yeah. Last turn you got 1 tertiary. You missed it only 1 turn, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
For some reason I thought you might have missed it twice, but no, maybe I didn't count you 1. So 2. We'll go 2 tertiaries.
Okay.
So cool. Everything looking gravy there. It is the beginning of turn 5 mids.
All right.
All right, Chris, tell us about your turn 5 there.
End of turn 5. I mean, the Gaunts that were in my backfield, which are really my main, at this point, objective holder, at least largest footprint, are on 3 separate objectives. They have been piled in such a manner that I can take redundant casualties on multiple objectives. There was a squad of Gene Stealers I have here that is still 3, 6, 7 strong that is hiding in these ruins right here. But quite frankly, they are not a huge contender. If I can get another turn, I can possibly get in that backfield. It looks as if the game ends right now, I will have Line Breaker, which is something I wanted. But then I had 2 small units that I had to make multi-charges against your tanks. That way, if the game ends, I actually have a way to mitigate how much damage you can do, at least from range shooting, which is your strongest, in my opinion, damage output at this point, because I can literally stop, if you fall back with everything, 5 of your 6 tanks. However, on objectives, you are in the lead. If the game ends right now, it is your game, absolutely.
Yeah, it's currently 17 to 11 at the game ends right now with Line Breaker.
Absolutely. We'd have to go pretty much 2 turns for me to stand a chance at winning. However, even that is would be contingent on some pretty precarious rolls. I did slow down your damage output towards the end of the game, but I just don't think I retained as much early game as I needed. We'll see where this goes though. So we'll see if the game ends right now.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's see what happens. Go ahead and give us a roll.
Alrighty.
Pretty good shot up here. Hey,
2.
Ends.
It ends.
Oh, that was a great game, dude.
It was fun, man. Absolutely. I mean, I think I learned some things. I think there's some things even just about the board considering that I need to keep in mind next time we get a game in. I did not move as front and center as I should have. I need to remember the Warhound is not as much of an impassable obstacle as it is. Not that that was a major factor by any means.
Yeah, it is a little bit awkward. I'm just gonna change the board.
Absolutely. I mean, I spent most of my time here.
Right.
To be honest.
Right.
But in retrospect, knowing what you were doing the entire, like going into the game, I knew what the Demon Princes were going to do. That's not a new thing in terms of tactical analysis for me. I knew we were going to send them forward with some kind of small contingency to try to slow me down. I just thought on numbers I would whittle through them at least 2 turns sooner than I did, which is unfortunate. But once again, even then, I just, let's see, I got 3 of my tertiary points, assuming I got them every turn starting, 4 I guess, assuming I missed, 3, because I missed, you can't score them turn 1, and I missed him out on 1 turn. So 3 tertiary points. I got Line Breaker as a secondary, so that's 2 points.
Well, did you get one on the last turn there? No, it was only 2.
No, you're right. I didn't get any on the last turn.
Yeah, it's only 2 tertiaries.
So 2 tertiaries. I got Line Breaker, which is worth 2 points.
Yep.
And I had my 7 primaries.
Yep, 7. Yep, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 with your 2 tertiaries.
Warp charged gamers. Warp charged gamers.
Warp charged gamers.